An unusual swarm of earthquakes is raising fears of a serious seismic incident on the San Andreas Fault of California, Michael Snyder reports. Will the big one soon hit the West Coast? While most people are fixated on the political drama currently unfolding in Washington, very important events are happening elsewhere too. Within the last 7 days, California and Nevada have been hit by more than 900 earthquakes, and just within the past 24 hours, there have been 4 notable earthquakes in Southern California. We're being told that these quakes are raising fears of a serious seismic incident on the San Andreas Fault. Another earthquake has hit California, the 4th in the space of 24 hours. The latest, a magnitude 2.6 quake, hit 28 kilometers south-southwest of Los Bonas, and it comes after a 3rd earthquake rocked San Bernardino, and the area was hit by 2 others, raising fears of a serious seismic incident on the San Andreas Fault. I have been one of the leading voices in warning about what will happen when the San Andreas Fault finally unzips all at once. Today I asked Google AI about the potential danger the West Coast is facing, and this is the answer that I received. According to scientific research, while not guaranteed, the San Andreas Fault could potentially rupture all at once, causing a massive earthquake, sometimes called the Big One, potentially reaching a magnitude 8.3 if the entire fault from the Mexico border to Northern California breaks simultaneously. However, this scenario is still under debate among scientists and depends on complex geological factors. If the San Andreas Fault does rupture all at once, scientists have warned us that it could produce an earthquake that would be powerful enough to cause the ground on the western side of the San Andreas Fault to suddenly drop several feet. Since most of Southern California is just barely above sea level, that would allow water from the Pacific Ocean to come rushing in. Of course, the San Andreas Fault is not the only fault line that we need to be watching. In fact, the latest earthquake swarm in Southern California, occurring in an area that has a number of very dangerous fault lines running through it. Though these quakes happened on the San Andreas Fault line, San Bernardino is near a number of fault lines running through California that frequently cause earthquakes, including the Arrowhead Fault, the Waterman Canyon Fault, the San Jacinto Fault, the Santa Ana Fault, the Cleghorn Fault, and the Tunnel Ridge Fault. And let's not forget the Puente Hills Thrust Fault. According to seismologist Lucy Jones, that is the most dangerous fault in the entire region. The quake ruptured on a small section of a fault associated with the Puente Hills Thrust Fault system, which has long been cited as a major seismic hazard for Southern California because it runs through the heavily populated areas and is capable of a huge quake. It's a reminder that this is actually our most dangerous fault, earthquake expert Lucy Jones said, surpassing the San Andreas. The Puente Hills Thrust Fault is considered to be the exceptionally dangerous because it sits directly under heavily populated residential neighborhoods in northern Los Angeles. If you live in Southern California, it's so important for you to understand that it's just a matter of time before the big one strikes. And as I have extensively documented, seismic activity along the West Coast also has a potential to create a gigantic tsunami. So many people have had dreams and visions of tsunamis hitting coastal cities in the United States. Here's a recent example from Perry Stone. In this recent vision, Stone was in a U.S. coastal city attending a ministers' conference with friends like Jettison Franklin, Tony Scott, and wife Pam. While walking across a bridge, Stone overheard a young girl say, "Daddy, did you hear about the big earthquake that happened?" Moments later, a massive tsunami appeared in the distance. I said, "Tony, oh my goodness, there's a tsunami coming this way," Stone recounts. He described how they clung to metal bars on the bridge as a wave crashed into the city, sweeping away buses and cars. The scene shifted to knee-deep water flooding the streets with people in shock and disbelief. Stone did not specifically see that this would take place in Southern California, but many others have been shown that the California coastline is in great danger. I don't understand why anyone would still want to live in that state anyway. California has the highest state income tax rate in the entire nation. California has the highest state level sales tax rate in the entire nation. And California also has the highest gasoline tax rate in the entire nation. If you want to be taxed into oblivion, live in California. Meanwhile, California is ranked 47th in the number of hospitals per capita. It has the highest homeless population of any state in the country. Crime is widely out of control, and businesses are fleeing the state left and right. One of the only things that is keeping the population of California relatively stable at this point is the tremendous influx of migrants that has been pouring into the state in recent years, but the state does not have the resources to take care of them all. Perhaps California would have some hope of turning things around if they had some solid leadership, but unfortunately the vast majority of the politicians in the state are pushing agendas that are so anti-American that it's absolutely frightening. On top of everything else, there is a constant threat of wildfires, mudslides, and earthquakes. In fact, the fires that ripped through Southern California during the month of January were collectively the costliest natural disaster in the entire history of the United States. And before I end this article, he says there's one last thing I wanted to mention today. It's being reported that Costco and Trader Joe's have started to ration the number of eggs that their customers can purchase. An egg shortage triggered by avian flu has prompted several grocery stores, including Costco and Trader Joe's, to limit purchases. Trader Joe's, with about 600 stores across the U.S., has a 1 dozen eggs per day limit. We hope these limits will help to ensure that as many of our customers who need eggs are able to purchase them when they visit Trader Joe's. A Trader Joe's representative said Monday, CNN reported. This is a story that I'm going to be watching very closely. I'm convinced that pestilences will continue to be a major theme throughout the rest of 2025. Of course, I'm also convinced that major natural disasters will continue to be a major theme throughout the rest of 2025. We really are living in perilous times, and the months that are in front of us will be filled with lots and lots of surprises. And this is by Michael Snyder on End of the American Dream. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. This is by Michael Snyder and about the author. Michael Snyder's new book entitled Why is available on paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 8 other books that are available on Amazon, including Chaos, End Times, 70 Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the Most Important News, and he's always freely and happily allowed others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Please support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.